MiHoYo just announced a new game, Honkai Nexus Anima. Here's everything we know about what looks like their coziest, most wholesome game yet. I'm David Wowee, how you doing? MiHoYo is back with a brand new game and their devs must have forgotten what sleep feels like because it's only been about a year since they released Zenless Zone Zero, which in turn was released only about a year after Honkai Star Rail, where Honkai Star Rail is like the more serious, depressing and emotionally complex version of Genshin Impact, and Zenless Zone Zero is the high-octane, fun-loving and perverted cousin of Honkai Star Rail. Nexus Anima is toning everything right down to bring us something cozy, laid back, and potentially targeted at kids. The first thing you may think when you see the trailer of this game is, this is gacha Pokemon. And is Nintendo lawyering up right now? And you wouldn't be wrong to think this. From the musical score to the giant pets who literally look like Pokemon to the whole vibe of the game, this looks like a Pokemon game. Even the beta test questionnaire asks if you play Pokemon games. Well, is it a Pokemon game with a bit of MiHoYo sprinkled on top? Let's have a look. Obviously, we're only in the early days, and so a lot will probably change, but so far, here's what we know. In this game, the universe was stitched together by an invisible thingamajig called Nexus Threads, and these threads bound opposites together: love and hate, light and dark, life and death. But then a huge collapse occurred called the Sundering, which is what fans are labeling as Honkai Impact III's version of the Honkai. The Sundering tore those ties, causing the echoes to scatter across the world and become these adorable creatures known as Pokemon. I mean Digimon, I mean pals, I mean Nexus Anima. No, not Anima, but Anima. But that's not all the Sundering did. It also caused the world to break into pieces, forming 81 independent universes called planes. These planes are then broken down into these things called aspects, where concepts like love and hate, light and dark, life and death, and so on were tied together in what was called the old world. They're now apart in what is called the new world. So these aspects are now singular, with simply light, dark, life, death, and so on. Confused yet? Good, because I am too. If I've messed anything up, let me know. You start as a plane hopping traveler who ends up in a place called Ear Town. From there, you'll travel across different realms, befriending anima and other characters along the way. Like with Pokemon, you'll challenge arena masters across the world, and as the story progresses, you'll learn more about your past and about the mystery of who shattered the Nexus in the first place, with some speculating it was caused by someone called the World Ender. I mean, if your name is World Ender, you've got to be the villain, right? And during all of this, I'm sure there'll be a lot of drama. Let's just hope that unlike Honkai Star Rail, not everyone ends up dead. Unlike the latest MiHoYo games, we actually get what looks like in-depth character customization. But since the gameplay trailer shows that you can play as multiple characters with set designs, it would be interesting to see how this all works. Perhaps you can just customize the main character but also play as a number of others you meet along the way. We shall see. Now let's look at the heroes of this game, the actual Nexus Anima. If you look at the official website, as of the time of writing this video, they've numbered up to 56 anima so far. They skip a few numbers and haven't directly listed every single one up to 56, but we already have a wide variety of anima, and I'll cover this soon, but it seems like each one could give you a unique ability in the open world. Some of these anima look absolutely hilarious. They just released a video of Colt Peacemaker, who looks like a flying pinata who absolutely saves the day. Then we have the owners or trainers of these anima, which is 100% definitely not inspired by Pokemon's Pokémasters and are uniquely called Animasters. So far, these Animasters are broken up into sovereigns, Novarchs, and others. The difference between each can be broken down in an entire video, but for now, it looks as though sovereigns are deity-like beings who are owners of aspects of the world where each has a unique number. For example, Amstradath, the master of life and death, is labeled as the 5th sovereign. Armand, the 8th sovereign, is the master of light and dark. Then we have Novarchs, who own aspects of the new world and govern one of the 81 planes. And unlike the old world rulers, the new world Novarchs, since the Sundering, don't govern pairs of things like light and dark, but instead rule concepts like light by itself or dark by itself. But just to confuse you more, some sovereigns, such as Victus, the 1st sovereign, are now also Novarchs because of the Sundering. In this case, Victus, who was the master of order and chaos in the old world, is now just the master of order in the new world and is protecting it against the ravages of chaos. Anyway, let me know if I've gotten any of this wrong. And who can ignore the fact that we're literally getting Blade in this game, who Honkai Star Rail fans would know all too well. In this game, he's the 22nd Novarch and master of the plane known as the Peak. He's one of the Phoenix Breaker Novarchs, whatever that means, and he's looking for the missing 11th sovereign. Kafka maybe? I had to read through the profiles of the sovereigns and Novarchs, and not gonna lie, it sounds like the writers of this game had a lot of fun and spent a lot of time getting into their lore, and I see quite a bit of potential here for those who are into good stories. Like and sub for more coverage on these characters. Then we have the others, who I'm guessing showcasing are the down-to-earth Animasters you'll either play as or interact with the most, essentially the friends you meet along the way. For example, we've got Hua, who pretty much looks like this game's version of Ash Ketchum, the hilariously named Cassio Rollex, seriously who named him? And look, we've got Kiana from Honkai Impact! Unlike Zenless Zone and Honkai Star Rail, which have more constricted exploration, it looks like we're going back to Genshin's roots. There's a big, cozy looking open world component to this game that also transitions between night and day. It looks like we'll be able to jump and hover like in Genshin Impact, and we get to participate in mini games like shooting beach balls, and you can do stuff you've always wanted to do but for legal reasons can't, like destroy your office building, and even ride the Anima to get around the world. Riding the Anima across the sky looks highly therapeutic. It also looks like you can do some pretty hilarious stuff. This bit shows the player telling the Anima to throw some dessert at someone's face, and there's a bloody koala drinking a brown substance straight from its IV drip. I'm personally looking forward to using this penguin with its tiny feet shoot a bunch of stuff. Look at it run! And as the game gets updated over time, the mini game options will be endless, I'm sure. The cartoony style graphics and sense of humor gives me Katamari Damacy vibes. When exploring the open world, the menu UI looks similar to what we've seen in HoYo games, where you have the map and shortcuts on the top of one corner, then more menu quick buttons at the top of another. At the bottom right, in this instance, it looks like we have key exploration functions. One is to run, the other perhaps to mount an Anima or use its unique function, and the third perhaps to switch your Anima. So what's the battle system like? To me, personally, the battle system is probably what looks like the least impressive of the game so far, especially after being lured in by this lush open world. Let's just hope I'm wrong. It's taken inspiration from auto chess battlers and teamfight tactics, and we've even gotten hints of it in similar styled minigames you can play in Honkai Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero. Basically, you throw in your Anima and you battle it out. There looks to be roguelike elements and various buffs you can add to your team to add another level of strategy to your fights. Whether this will be strictly a solo game or multiplayer, I'm sure we'll find out soon. Leaks have revealed that at the very least, a 3 vs 3 multiplayer battle mode will be available. Instead of this type of battle system, I would have loved to see a more interactive Pokemon style battle system, but then I guess that would have just made the game Pokemon, right? But I can see this working well if they're targeting this towards cozier players who want a more chill experience. If that's the case, an autoplay mode could be good for those who just want a game they can kind of click on in the background while doing other stuff, or to relieve themselves from the stresses of reality, or just have that thing you do while you're in the toilet. I get a sense that this is a game targeted at kids, and as a secondary market, adults who are kids at heart. If this is primarily for kids, I really hope they calm down on the gacha because reasons, man. I guess we shall have to wait and see until people actually get to play the game. There is no confirmed release date yet, but they are actively calling out for beta testers. I've added a link to the description of this video if you want to be involved. What are your thoughts on this game so far? Have I missed anything or gotten anything wrong? Don't forget to like and sub, and a huge shout out and thanks to my existing super members and supporters. Your help keeps this channel going. You are simply the best. Check out my other vids, you're gonna love them.